All right, straight to the news of Nnamdi Kanu's court update. Today being 19th of June 2025 as Nigerian federal government closes case as Nnamdi Kanu legal counsel prepared to file no case submission motion. Full details. Let us give you the full details of what actually transpired in court today concerning Nnamdi Kanu's court trial. First of all, we had a very tight security. Let us start with the security issue. The case between Nnamdi Kanu, and the federal government has actually been concluded as I'm talking to you, and the case has been adjourned to the 19th of July 2025. So in exactly 1 month time, we'll be hearing a conclusion on the case of Nnamdi Kanu. So the good thing there is that with what the defense team of Nnamdi Kanu actually prepared, Nnamdi Kanu might be released as quickly as possible. That is within next 1 month. That is if it is being accepted. But meanwhile, let us go straight up to what really happened today, as Nnamdi Kanu legal counsel has actually filed a no case submission or motion. I'm going to be explaining what a no case submission or motion is. But let us go into the detail. The federal government of Nigeria on Thursday closed its case in the ongoing trial of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, in the allegation bordering on terrorism and treason. The federal government's lawyer, Chief Adegboyega Awomolo, senior advocate of Nigeria, announced this after the fifth prosecution witness PW5, identified as EEE for security reason, was led in evidence and cross-examined by Kanu's lawyer Onyechi Ikpeazu before Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja. So the fifth lawyer, the fifth witness was actually cross-examined today, and let us even go briefly on that. Now, however, due to the close monitoring of court attendance by some DSS officer present in court, unfortunately, live updates and proceedings were not actually given because during the cross-examination of the PWEEE, there were stringent order by the judge in the person of James Omotosho, and because of that, we couldn't give the full detail of how the cross-examination went. They've been fighting and battling and doing all kind of things, for Nnamdi Kanu's trial to be held secretly. But the reality is that bad as it bad, get as it won't be, where we no go give you the update as it happen. Now, let us continue. The federal government's lawyer, Chief Adegboyega Awomolo and San, announced this after the fifth prosecution witness PW5, identified as EEE for security reasons, was led in evidence and cross-examined by Kanu's lawyer Onyechi Ikpeazu, as I said earlier. Now, Awomolo told the court that after calling 5 witnesses in the trial, the prosecution was satisfied that from the avalanche of evidence tenders, including the broadcast of activities of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, the government had sufficiently satisfied the need to close its case. In his words, the senior lawyer said, "I therefore close the case." Now, before we continue, with what really how the court case, transpired and how it ended. Now, they claimed, because the reality is that they have come out to claim that with the avalanche of evidence that they had, that means they've had enough evidence. They've given enough evidence, right from the one of Onyami, the lies and propaganda that was rejected, to the one of the radio transmitter that they accused Nnamdi Kanu of smuggling. So it wasn't terrorism anymore, it was smuggling. So they feel that they've had enough evidences to pin Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But can I tell them something? One thing I want to tell them is, if it's about these evidences, these mere accusations, because to me those things were not even evidence, these were mere accusations without any proof. If they are satisfied because of those mere accusations, then I don't see any reason why that case took that long, to the extent of taking, I'm not even talking about the first 5 years, before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was released and later on he was abducted. For complete 5 whole good years, what have they been, been dragging in that case with this mere accusation? The best thing for Justice James Omotosho to do, to allow peace to reign, is for him to clearly acquit Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And that is why, after the announcement, the lead defense counsel chief Kanu Agabi informed the court that they would be opting for a no case submission, which would be filed in due course. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's defense team, led by Chief Kanu Agabi, has informed the court that they would be opting for a no case submission, which would be filed in due course. Now, what is a no case submission or motion? Now, in order to clarify our esteemed Biafrans, in general, over the ambiguity of the legal term no case submission as it surfaced during today's court proceeding of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu versus the government of the Nigeria here. Now, a no case submission in court refers to a motion made by a defendant or their legal counsel requesting the judge to dismiss the case brought against them at the close of the prosecution case. So, with all this evidence or this accusation, I'd rather call it an accusation because these are mere allegations and accusations against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Even Biafrans, in fact, somebody from a neutral ground, we know that these things are not even enough to keep this man for this long. That is why Kanu Agabi immediately said he is going to file for a new case. So why, instead of wasting time on the case, it is better that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu be released immediately, because these things, this evidence, do not hold water. They are wobbling, they are shaking, they no carry weight at all. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Kanu Agabi, decided instantly to inform the court that they will be filing a no case submission, which I explained. It refers to a motion made by a defendant or their legal counsel requesting the judge to dismiss the case brought against them at the close of the prosecution case. So immediately, as the federal government's lawyer is closing the case, with all their evidences they've brought, they've decided to close the case. Kanu Agabi instantly filed a no case submission, which refers to the dismissal of the case, because these things no really hold any water. Now, in a no case submission, the defense argues that the evidence or evidences presented by the prosecution is or are insufficient to support a conviction, meaning that even if the evidence is taken at face value, it does not establish a case that could lead to a guilty verdict, and which we have actually seen. These things, these evidences that these people have been bringing against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu does not hold water. I've said it over and over again. It does not hold water. They can do better than this. That is the reality. But the fact is that there is nothing they can actually do again, because they've been holding an innocent man for this long. They've been holding an innocent man. All they've been finding is to find every possible way to continue to hold Nnamdi Kanu, which they cannot get anymore. And that is why they have decided to close the case. So, no case submission. The defense argues that the evidence or evidences presented by the prosecution is or are insufficient to support a conviction, meaning that even if the evidence is taken at face value, it does not establish a case that could lead to a guilty verdict. Now, if the judge agrees with the no case submission, he may dismiss the charges, resulting in the defendant's acquittal. So if the judge, James Omotosho, agrees with this no case submission, he is instantly going to dismiss the charges, and which will result in the defendant's acquittal. Nnamdi Kanu will be acquitted immediately. That is freedom. If the judge denies the motion, the trial will continue, and the defense team may present their case. If the judge decide to deny the motion that Kanu Agabi of the no case submission, if he decides to deny it, that means the case is going to continue. But I don't see any reason why he is going to deny it. Well, that is the zoo. They can actually do and undo anything. Now, therefore, Biafrans, following the court proceedings, we have advised Biafrans, to have patience, and also they should be steadfast in their prayers for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. One thing we'll keep on doing here is that we'll keep on giving you more updated information. The case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been adjourned for this thing July 19th, for final verdict. But before then, we'll keep on giving you more and more information on the case as things continue to unfold. Thank you once again. We'll be giving you more videos on the court case when we get more information about it. God bless you and remain blessed.